As far back as I can remember, I dreamt of a normal life. A life filled with normal things. A life where monsters don't live in closets or under the bed. A life where ghosts aren't real. I just wanted to be normal. But that didn't happen. It wasn't meant to be. Since my early 20s, I have experienced profound paranormal events that would change my life. Extreme poltergeist activity, living amongst those that have departed this earth in ways unimaginable. It has affected my loved ones and children with no end in sight. I could hear things, see things, and feel things not of this world. I asked myself if this was a gift or a curse. With the help of my mother and close friends, I emerged a paranormal investigator. Since 2013, I have been on a relentless journey to learn about the paranormal. This is my time to share my journey with you. Welcome to my Paranormal Soapbox. Hello, and welcome to my Paranormal Soapbox. I'm your friendly neighborhood ghost hunter, Justin Brown, and we are presenting episode 79 this evening, and we're going to be talking about something completely crazy. I know, me and my ideas, right? But thank you for joining me. Thank you for tuning in and seeing what the hell psychic tunneling is. I'm pretty sure no one knows what that means, but nonetheless, you are going to hopefully know something about it, whether you completely understand what I'm going to talk to you or present to you tonight. We're going to have fun regardless, hopefully. I would like to know what you guys' thoughts are, especially if you're into quantum physics at all. But some of it you guys will understand. Some of it really intersects with the paranormal world. So I'm really interested to see if you guys get it and if you guys kind of see the correlation. But we're going to get right into it. The girls are here. Are the girls ready? They look ready.
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
They're ready. They said they're ready. Okay. If you're new, you don't know what's going on, my name's Justin. If you want to talk to us, just chat. We'll shout you out. If you want us to shout you out, we'll make you a part of the show. We want to hear your ideas, your thoughts. Everybody else wants to, interact with you. And we're going to be one big happy family tonight. Just keep it classy, keep it clean. Feel free to share. We're going to do some more cross promoting with other shows tonight. I'm going to do that towards the end, but I want to make that a huge part of the show. I want to let everyone know that cross promoting is something that I want to do. I want our viewers to go over to watch other shows and people's shows that I like, and I want their viewers to come over and join our community as well. So let's get started here. I see everybody chiming in. We're going to have fun tonight, okay? I promise you. And if we don't, it's my fault, because this is going to get kind of techie, sciencey real quick. But I'm going to do my best. If I need to, I'm going to try to find some visual aids to throw up on the screen so you can kind of get it. But psychic tunneling is a phrase that I have coined. It comes from a term in quantum physics called quantum tunneling. Okay, what quantum tunneling means is this. Okay, to set the stage here, everybody knows how the classical world works. Okay, if I pick up this can and put it down, it's going to do that every time I do that, right? If you imagine for a second that you're standing on top of this hill, and this hill goes down, rolls into a valley, and then it has a little higher hill on the other side. If you take a bowling ball and roll it down the hill, it will not go up the other side of the hill further than the height that you dropped it at. And that's a law, conservation of energy. That's how the classical world works. No matter how many times you do this, it will never go up the hill higher than you dropped it and go on the other side of the hill. And we're going to think of this hill as a barrier for a way to explain this. Now, the quantum world, the world of the very small, okay, it's not always the world of the very small, because in the quantum world, we can see quantum effects in the larger macro world that we live in. And I'll explain a little bit about this. I won't go too far in it if it bores you, but let's go to the quantum. If you look at a photon or electron, okay, and you shoot it at a barrier. Okay, let's say this barrier is as thick as my cell phone. Okay, you got a cell phone. Photon comes in. Now, photon and electrons and other particles like it aren't like balls. They act like waves. So you can't really pinpoint it, right? There's a probability wave where they can guess where it most likely is if they go to predict where it is from a point where they measured it before. Okay? So when the wave-like particle is going at the barrier, there is a small probability, depending on the thickness of the barrier, that the electron or a photon will show up on the other side. Okay? Now, the best way you can experiment with this yourself is you use either a prism or like a jello mold. And if you shoot like a laser, if you have a laser pointer through like a jello cup at the right 45-degree angle, you will see it reflect like a V. Okay, and that's called internal reflection. But at the very angle of the internal reflection, you'll get this thing called an evanescence wave or an evanescence reflection. And what that is a little flare of light that comes off the angle of that internal reflection. That is quantum tunneling. Now, the reason that is, some of the photons will tunnel through that barrier, that reflection barrier on the other side. And since there's a lot of photons shooting through there, even though the probability is low, you will still see the tunneling. And it happens all the time in particle decay. Okay? It happens randomly, and you can never predict when it happens, but when radiation is emitting from an atom, from radioactive atoms, that is tunneling as well. But we won't get into that. I want you guys to go, if this interests you, I want you to go research it yourself. But this is how it applies to the paranormal. Okay? So the thinner the barrier, the more probability that the quantum particles will show up on the other side, and that's called tunneling. Now, we're going to get to the paranormal application of this, okay? We're going to speed right through this. Now, there has always been a long belief that on the other side of our world is a spirit realm, okay? Wherever that is, it's like another dimension, okay? This is the hypothetical we're going to propose in this video. Now, a lot of people believe, including myself, that when paranormal things happen, the barrier or the veil between our world and their world can thin, and in some rare occasions, be non-existent. Okay? You can have vortices, vortexes, portals, whatever you want to call them. I'm really not a portal guy, but there are vortexes of energy and pockets of energy that allow some high strangeness to occur. But let's set that aside for a second. Now, psychics, when you look at the parapsychological experiments that they've done with micro-PK, what psychics can do is they can take random number generators and using their mind can alter the results of the random number generation to a higher probability of chance than that would happen if they let them run without the psychics concentrating on it. This has been proven. This is a fact. So, if that is true, the force carrier for psychokinetics would be like a psychotron. Almost, it's like a photon, that's a force-carrying particle. So you got to look at it as like a psychotron or a psychoton, whatever you want to call it. So if that's true, the psychotons are carrying the force to the barrier. Okay, so you can connect, mediums and psychics can connect to the other side, and the more they concentrate and the more they do it, and the thinner the veil gets, the higher probability they can make contact. And this is why it's just not like ghosts are there all the time, even though some people claim that maybe the paranormal was weird. So the same thing can happen from that spirit realm to our realm, all right? Emergent paranormal phenomena like EVP, disembodied acoustic phenomena, footsteps, voices out of the thin air, apparitions appearing like out of thin air and gone, you hear this minute and gone the next second. All those things I'm going to try to develop a working idea that will be a hypothesis that I cannot test, but once I get the whole model together, this could explain the emergent phenomena that happens. The more psychics can tune in to this ability, which I'm dubbing psychic tunneling, the more they can communicate from this realm to the next, and the more they can communicate and have paranormal phenomena occur from their realm to ours. And it has to do with that barrier. And what is cool about this idea is that once you understand what that barrier is and what can be embedded in the barrier, it may explain so much more that we believe is true. It could mean that this barrier could have information embedded into it from the psyche, from people's memories, from their psyche when they're alive, when they passed and maybe didn't cross through all the way. You may be picking up things from that barrier, and you psychics may be reaching into other realms of information to get their psychic readings from. Okay, so this is way down the rabbit hole, obviously. It's something really interesting to think about. But what made me come up with this idea was that my interest in PK, specifically micro PK, and the study that parapsychologists are doing with PK is intriguing to me, because the more and more I study the psychic phenomena, which is something that I kind of accidentally fell into and just rolled with it this last year. And since I've been working with my mother for the last couple years, I'm like, there's no turning back. I have to figure out if I'm on the right trail, if I'm on the right track. Okay. So I want to know what you think. I want to know if you feel like, if you're an energy worker, if you feel like this is some type of effect that could apply to what you feel like is happening. Do you feel like the veil, when you feel like the energy is high and it might be getting thin in some situations, whether you're out on investigation or where you're just hanging out at home or wherever, that you're penetrating that veil, kind of like tunneling through it at times? And do you feel like things can tunnel through to you, and your level of perception and intuition is able to, see those minute tunnelings come through? Because when you deal with the paranormal and you deal with the spiritual side, you're not dealing with physical things. Now, there's this thing called the Higgs boson field. The Higgs field is what gives everything that we see, like our skin, like this microphone, mass. Now, when you're dead and you're a spirit form, no mass. Okay, so that energy is not interacting with the Higgs field. Okay, so we're talking about fields of energy that are not detected right now by science, but are known about by other means, by metaphysical means and philosophy and other, esoteric forms of knowledge. Okay, so I want to know what you guys think. I want to know where this conversation will go. If you think if I should run with this idea, should I trash this idea? Does it sound cool, but probably not real? I want to know all these things. But before we do that, of course, we're going to say hi to everybody. We're going to shout everybody out. And we're going to take some questions or read off some interesting comments, if there is any at this point. Don't hurt yourselves, ladies.
Okay, I have Derek, I have Belle, I have Christy, I have Eddie, I have Sandy, I have Brandy Raider, Terry, Josh, Valerie, and Darren. On RU, I had Ernie and Dreama and RU Media, and now I think I have RU.
They left us. They're like, oh, Justin's talking about science again. We're out.
He's in science teacher mode. Let's go.
Hey, Patreons voted on it. It's their fault.
On YouTube, there's Betty, Ron, Marilyn, Darren Smith, Debbie, Shayla, and Joe.
What's up, guys? Anybody just ready to turn it off yet? Are they interested? What's the reaction so far?
The only reaction I got was Bill said, "I like it, Justin."
Of course he does. Of course he does. Okay, guys.
But he also wants to come on and talk about it. So
He wants to come on and talk about it. Well, we don't do that on this show, but there might be other shows that are in the works that he can definitely come on and talk about that is going to be right up his alley. That will be what we're going to start to do in 2020, starting in January on the Interface Death Facebook page. And we'll do it on YouTube and Twitch and Periscope too. Why not? We can do it. So we'll do it there. But it'll be more science-oriented, more tech-oriented, and more like educational and discussion, like a roundtable discussion about, methodologies and approaches when it comes to investigation. And a lot of it's going to have to do with audio and video, of course, and that would be something that he would be able to contribute a lot.
Sam Thomas joined as well.
And Daniel Greer joined.
Daniel Greer. Haven't chatted with him in a long time. Sam is on time this time. Thank you for joining us, guys. We're talking about weird shit tonight, so buckle in. Buckle your seatbelts. So I'm still waiting to hear what you guys think about this. I know Bill Davis said that he was cool with it. What do you guys think? Now, I know a lot of you guys don't probably understand what psychic tunneling is, okay? I could pull up a video. It'll probably bore the crap out of you. But pretty much like I'd explained, on the quantum level, photons, electrons, stuff like that can tunnel through barriers and physical objects. There's a small probability, and the thinner the barrier is, the more probable it will happen, and the more of those particles that are present hitting the barrier, the more likely it will tunnel through. So,
Gina just jumped on, and Bill asked, Paranormal Reporter asked, is there a way to magnify the transmitter to send out these psychotons? Psychotons.
So that's where the psychic force carrier comes in, okay? I believe that it's possible, okay, that psychics and energy workers, the metaphysicists out there, like my mother, I have seen her do it for years. I've seen her do it on investigations. She can bring in energy from wherever it comes from. And you don't have to be psychic at all, and you will feel it, and you will see it happen. Okay, it will happen. It will manifest either in a voice or something anomalous will happen. Okay, it's the perception. It's all in here. That's what's amplifying. That's what's emitting the particles, wherever that comes from. Now, this is completely hypothetical. I have no idea. It's just an idea. So if you psychics, if you're out there listening, I want you to experiment with this idea. I want you to take it with a grain of salt, but I want you to try to run with it too. I want you to see if you feel like you can amplify that energy, adjust your vibration, adjust that energy, match it, and then try to make it grow and see if things can happen. That's what I want to experiment with all next year. I got a whole bunch of ideas. I don't know if your girls are game with it or not. What do you girls think? I mean, if we don't have any questions or comments, I know I've seen Darren. He said, it's all over my head, but that's why I catch the show. It's hard to keep up with, but interesting at the same time. I know, man. I'm sorry.
Valerie has a question.
Okay.
She said that is why when we hear a knock or a pop and then static charge before we get activity, right?
I don't know if that's why, but I think that things like that can happen. I think that there's a transfer of energy from there to there, and that's the knocks, the bangs. I definitely believe that that's probably what's going on. I think that's what's going on. I think a lot of people kind of understand that's what's going on. There's a transfer from there to here, and it's going through a barrier. A lot of times, houses, structures are like the barrier, like on their side of whatever's on the other side of that. They have a house too. They are in that space, but we're not. Okay, because we're interacting with the Higgs field. So they have to find a way to interact with the Higgs field. So that Higgs field is like over here. Okay, it's decohered from them. They're in the spirit field. Here's the Higgs field. Okay, so they have to close the barrier, or the psychic or the person on this side has to close the barrier. And the closer it gets, all of a sudden, pop, boom, knock, footsteps, voice, things levitate. That's what I'm saying.
Joe also said there's a lot of investigators who report a popping or clicking sound before they get an EVP. I know I've captured that a couple times myself.
Yeah, I've definitely heard that reported. I can't honestly say that we experienced that, but that doesn't mean that that's a thing. It's not a thing. It could be something to go, that could be like some type of signature to indicate the type of phenomena they're occurring, and maybe it's something they're doing. Maybe it's something that the entity is doing because of you or some special circumstance. That would be very interesting to find out if that was true or not. Probably we'll never find out. Go ahead.
Sorry. Valerie said, I think we can amplify that energy because electronics malfunction when I'm around. Thoughts?
Sure. I think now a lot of people will agree and a lot of people will disagree. I think once that energy starts to get high, we start tapping into the electromagnetic field, and that's why meters go off. That's why we detect it when around paranormal stuff. Now, a lot of times it's false positives, but if you do your job right, you can find anomalies there with the EM field. Jessica looks deep in thought. She usually does. She's probably picking up your grandma right now.
Oh, stop. No, I'm just trying to follow is all I was going to reply back to Sandy, but I'm just trying to follow.
Yeah, just concentrate on, right now, if you do the chat, I'll be happy, but later on, if you feel like you have something to add or, you know what I mean, you can go for it. I'm not going to try to bust your balls over everything.
Valerie said, have you seen Haven on Netflix? What Justin is saying reminds me of that TV series.
I have not. Haven't. You girls heard of it?
I'm going to write it down.
Good idea. Watch it and report back to me. Because I'm watching.
You want me to do a report too?
Yeah,
you want me to do like a 15-page report?
I am too busy watching The Expanse on Amazon right now. I'm busy. I'm addicted to it. Okay, so we're getting some conversation. Now we're talking. Now we're cooking with gas.
Joe says, over the weekend, I investigated a place and not much happened. But as soon as I introduced kinetic energy, things came alive.
Kind of elaborate on what you mean by kinetic energy. Like, what were you doing? Like EM pumps, or what was you doing? Like getting all hyped up? What I've learned for myself is that when my ears feel static charge and ring or buzz, I get activity right after, whether it be visions, voices, or paranormal.
I agree with Valerie.
I do too.
Mm-hmm.
Does Valerie have any autoimmune or any like hyper or
she has
fibromyalgia? That's what I was trying to say, not hypo, but fibromyalgia. That's what the first thing that came to my mind.
I'm about positive. I'm like 99% sure she does. I think I've seen it.
I started thinking what Brandon Masulo researched and proposes in his book and his research. So, Valerie, if you have not read Ghost Studies, I have that right here. No. Ghost Studies, Brandon Masulo, go buy it.
Derek asked a question. He said, so would this theory correlate with what happens when I'm around your mom while she's doing things?
Yeah, that's kind of like what I was explaining. Like when certain psychics do things, when they pull the energy, they're pulling it from that other realm. You will feel it if they're amplifiers of it. My mom is, okay? And I think that I can tap into that. I'm just now scratching the surface on how to do that. It kind of goes back to Madison Seminary where I was doing the energy work there. We both felt the basement that there was a pocket of energy. So I started stirring it and, making it grow. And then I started to really connect with it. And that's when I started, it was getting information. And that's when the voice came through. And I feel like that place is a good conduit of psychic energy. It's been messed with, and Rebecca Kirschbaum is probably has a lot to do with that, I'm going to say, and other psychics as well. A lot of psychics gravitate to that place, I feel.
She wants you to put the link to the book in chat.
Okay, I'll do that for you.
Joe says a space heater with a fan on it. LOL.
space heater with a fan on it. All right. All right. I won't give the whole thing. Just copy the main link. It's going in all the chats. Yeah.
She said, I feel that static electric energy in the woods all the time when I go hiking. It's like pockets of energy. Crazy.
Yeah. I mean, you could definitely be living around an area where the land has that stuff going on. And what's interesting about it is a lot of people are sensitive to it, whether they know it or not. They'll feel things. They'll have these weird vibes. You know, I went down to a place called Jackson, Ohio for my daughter's basketball game. And I didn't feel it in the car, but when I got out of the car, started walking towards the elementary school, I felt this shift. And it's like this energy that just, it's distinctly different from, you know, from when I was in the car and going in. It's like an energy buildup. It's like, you know, it's usually when there's a gathering of people in a place I haven't been. It's like you can tell that there's a change when there shouldn't be a sensation like that.
Sam says, I have not noticed a boom or whatever before, but I did get stung once and I saw a spirit form by little balls of energy, white.
Yeah, I have too. I mean, not a lot. A couple times I've seen that. And I do believe that there is a thing called a spirit quake or a dimensional quake where it happens at my house all the time. There's this big boom. It's like a sonic boom or earthquake. It feels like maybe like an explosion, but there's no source for it. Have you guys ever experienced that?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, what was the question? I was replying.
Have you ever experienced like a sonic boom or earthquake or a shaking where there was no cause for it? I feel like that has something to do with some type of tunneling of energy from over there in the spirit realm coming into ours.
I know Val has, for sure.
Derek asked, is there a device we can make to test the theory during psychic research?
No, not that I know of. If there's a force carrier that we could call a psychoton, then the best generator or device for that is the human mind, the human body. So I think we should start there, Derek. I think we should start with our own abilities to work with that field. And that's where I think the experimentation can come from.
Daniel said, once I came home to the smell of a freshly cooked ham within minutes, then smelled a cigarette. No one was cooking anything nor smoking. Have you experienced anything like this?
Yep, one time. Well, one time I know for sure. I do know in homes that smells can spontaneously come through because the environment might be saturated with it. If you smoke in the home, that could happen. If you cook in the home, that can happen. But I was in a 200 or 300-year-old cellar that was a spiritualist church and a place where they ran Underground Railroad, the first underground railroad systems in Southern Ohio, and Utopia. And we were getting REM pod hits underground with no electricity anywhere, okay? And I was communicating with it using the REM pod, and then all of a sudden, I smelled like it was fresh laundry, and it was not the soap that you buy from the store, but the soap like Amish use, like the homemade soap, like the old school homemade soap. If you ever smelled Amish homemade soap, it's exactly what it smelled like, and it freaked me out. And what's cool about smells, Daniel, they're just now discovering that molecules, they previously thought that molecules would enter the nose, enter the olfactory bulb in your brain. There's a lobe in the brain called the olfactory lobe, and they previously thought that the molecule would attach to a certain receptor. You have a receptor for each type of smell, and it was like a physical link up with that receptor. Now they're looking at smells as a quantum effect, to where the molecule enters the receptor, but the smell and has a vibration. It has a quantum effect where it's like a wave like pattern. Okay. So that would explain that you can smell something totally new or alien to you, but not have a receptor for it. So each receptor is designed to detect small fluctuations in the quantum effect of the molecule. And we're just now discovering there's theories coming out that the brain is a quantum computer. And if you want to look into orchestrated objective reduction from Stuart Hameroff and Roger Penrose, definitely check that out. I talk about that from time to time. That deals with quantum computing in the brain when it comes to memory and non-locality and precognition and all kinds of cool paranormal stuff. So catching up here, Sam just asked a question. Is that the only one that we got right now?
Yes. Yep. Do you believe that the that can feel, see, hear, etc., the other side were chosen, born with it, or developed it?
It could be all of them. To say someone was chosen, I mean, I don't know why that would be an actual thing. I see how people would feel like they're chosen, but I'm not so keen on that. But some are naturals at it. They don't need to try hard at it. They don't need to study it. It was like a normal sense for them when they were born, when they were 2 or 3. Some can develop it. They don't really have it, but they can develop it if they open their mind to it. I do believe that. So I have to go. Continue watching later. Have a good night. Thanks, Janet. Thanks for coming, watching. Have a good night. What's Valerie talking about? Turmeric?
She recommended turmeric or peppermint oil for the pain. And she spelled turmeric wrong, and they were all making fun of her. And then she finally spelled it right.
Don't make fun of people. Come on.
Derek said, so video logs of the psychic research is the best way to study it.
Video logs?
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to take video of everything, but you actually want to record data to where you can kind of graph it out too. So I'm definitely wanting to, not so much the data loggers, but develop a system that we could kind of graph out our progress with certain data points, Derek. If you want to talk about how we could do that next year, we will. But it's going to be highly involved. It's going to be a lot of work. I know we bust our ass just with the film aspect and the investigating aspect. And this whole winter, I'm going to be figuring out how we can simplify our setups and our gear. I am actually rethinking a lot of things right now to make things simpler. And I think you guys are going to be game. But we're going to kind of have to lock into certain roles a little bit more to achieve that. But that's production meeting stuff, not soapbox stuff.
Valerie said, I wonder what makes us more sensitive to it. DNA? It's the never-ending curiosity on my end.
It's so many factors that play into it. Your upbringing, what happened in your life between the ages of 2 and 7, what kind of relationships you've developed with your mother and your father, your grandparents, your friends, what types of things happen to you traumatically, or not. There's triggers. There's environmental triggers. There's social triggers. There's parental triggers. There's psychic triggers. There's so many factors, Valerie, and there's no way you can just come up with this blanket way of explaining why this person or that person has an ability. Because if you look at someone's personality, there's so many facets to it. There's so many ways that it can be shaped into who you are today. You have to look back and kind of analyze and research all kinds of things. It's like you get psychoanalyzed and you get research to a way you can kind of develop a model to explain how you got here, right? Why you are the way you are. And it can get very detailed. And I think that everybody's unique, but people can relate to each other very easily if they allow themselves to. And I think the main key is to be open-minded enough and have that open-mindedness be incubated by your parents, your friends, and the environment that you're in, your coworkers, social media, all kinds of things like that. It has to be, you have to be in a good place for that to grow within you and around you. Yeah. I guess she agrees, or she's responding to somebody else. Maybe. I've been into the paranormal since day one. Not me. Now, my mom, she used to tell me the stories, like I say all the time, and I'm kind of like, nope. Big bucket of nopes. It freaked me out. It was weird. Of course, I listen to people's stories all the time. Some people are out there that do have extraordinary tales and stories to tell about their paranormal lives. I feel like my life is fucking crazy, man. It's hard for me to relate to a lot of people. And there's probably a lot of people out there that feel like that. But there's people out there that's went through crazy stuff. Like Chad Kalick, for example. He's someone I can relate to. He's a filmmaker, storyteller, and he has had a life of high strangeness. And I can kind of relate to his story. And I see why he feels like he needs to tell these stories to connect with people, to kind of, make sense of his weirdness, to make himself not feel weird, and reach out and touch those that also feel weird, also feel the same. But the idea of psychic tunneling, or the tunneling mechanic, is something that I feel like there's some parts of it are definitely relatable. But like I said, I need to work it out. I need to get with the girls and get with the team and work with some other teams that are willing to take a look at this. I've definitely had investigations where the psychics there are doing things at locations where the veil's already thin and working with the energy, and things are happening at a higher probability or rate than they should or usually do. Because one location could be super haunted one minute and not the next. There's a reason for that. And it goes both ways. It deals with the people that are there experiencing the location and the location itself. Yes, we're trying to figure out all these factors that play into this and trying to answer the question why that is. But I feel like if I draw attention to this and get you guys on the same page and get you guys thinking in this way, you can start tapping in. You can start working with the energy, working with the psychotons, if you will, to make the veil thinner, to bridge the gap between our world and the other side. That's what we're trying to do. I know we're trying to rely a lot on gadgets. I think the best gadget we have is this flesh vessel we're traveling in right now. If our spirit and our metaphysical consciousness and our flesh taxi gets on the same page and figures this out, that's our best chance at doing it. No device will. Our bodies, I feel, have been designed to do this. That's how we're able to survive death. I think we have evolved to survive death through our conscious, through psychokinetics. Okay, this is what I believe. Hopefully one day, any supporting evidence of this will be found. Okay. What's Eddie got?
He says, I've finally got myself going as into investigating these past couple of years. And I've been wondering, the more you let yourself open for spiritual communication, can you pick up more as into feelings and hearing certain spirits on vibrations? shifts on vibrations.
Ask Derek Schreiner that question. Ask Josh Bender that question. I would say absolutely. But I think the people who didn't feel like there was a chance in hell that they would, since they've been hanging around me for a couple years, are starting to. Like, I feel like if Josh can have these experiences, anybody can. And that's nothing against Josh. I just think that's just the way he come through life. He wants the physical proof right there. He can grab it, look at it, analyze it, and there's no questions there. Like, it, you know, he doesn't want to rely on the feelings. He doesn't want to rely on the woo. He wants it physically there. But he's just now starting to understand that that's not how the paranormal works. Okay? You have to open up. You have to learn how to open up and use your mind, use your body, use your senses, your God-given gift, if you will, to do these things. Your millimeter is not going to do it for you. Your spirit box is not going to do it for you. Okay, it's not going to be conclusive. It's not going to be reliable or effective to do this. And I know that I'm the science guy, but you know, in the same, you know, setting of me telling you this, the psychic phenomena is probably the most real thing I've ever experienced, ever. Okay, there's something going on that's not physical. It's not local. It's not classical, physical. There's something else out there, guys. Let's talk about it. Let's figure it out together. We need to, because this is important. It's just more than exploring the paranormal. It's more than just, you know, this idle intrigue. It's understanding what we need to do to survive death. Is what we need to do to connect with people more and more, you know, outside the shallowness that we try to connect with nowadays through phones, through communities like this. Even we need to connect even more. We need to do a lot more that transcends anything you could physically do. I had Reiki healing last night. Awesome. How'd it go? Tell me how it went. Thanks for agreeing, Sam. I'm glad you agree. What's is Valerie? I really need to trying to see what she's agreeing with here. Right.
I think she was agreeing with Eddie Pence's comment.
Yeah.
Roger Johnson, Serty, David, Chris, Laura, and Donna are on RU, and Rowie jumped on just the Justin Brown page.
Awesome. I think it's funny watching Missy juggle all this crap. Doing good. You're keeping up. You're a pro now. I need to go over there and tweak your guys' setup when I come Saturday. I still am coming Saturday, right?
Yeah.
All right. I'm coming early. Once I set up, I'm gonna tell Derek that you need to get this extra monitor. You said set this up. This is how you got to set up the chat. I'm gonna do it.
Okay.
Better.
Okay.
Exhausted now.
She said my chakras were well protected.
Yes, you guys are gonna take a nap after this show. I predict Jessica will take a nap after this show. You're not fooling me, Jess. You know what I'm talking about. You know what's going on in your own understanding, right?
Well, yeah, I'm trying to relate everything that you're saying to my experiences, and
well, you don't care about the psychotons, you don't care about the science behind it, but you care that if I understand it and if I can make your shit better, then that's what you want. That's what you want.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
That's the only thing we give a shit about.
Well,
yeah, so keep doing your shit, Justin Brown.
Yeah, well, see, that's how I work. That doesn't mean that you can't figure it out. I just got to be able to relate it to you.
And like a 4-year-old language.
Well, no, that's a really bad way. I will get you there, but I can't use all the science crap. I'll do it another way. And I'll do what I always do. So far we're doing all right. I think, right? We're doing all right.
Yes, we're doing all right.
You look like you're definitely been feeling a little bit better. the weather is finally set in to cold and shitty, rainy shit.
Yeah, I'm having a little bit of issues, but
oh yeah. Well, you and Christy are MS linked. I hear.
I know, and it was so funny because she messaged me this morning. I was like, "Holy shit!" It's almost it's weird. It's weird.
Well, to me, when I'm looking at it, it's just like, for someone that's dealing with MS, they probably feel like no one's going to believe that this is what I'm feeling. This shit is not normal. You know, you don't even know if the shit's like, what the hell is it? And then someone comes along like, yep, feel the same crap.
Well, the thing is, it's like, when you're feeling something, you're like, wait, is that MS related or is it something completely different? And so that's when she asked me her question. I was like, oh yeah, well, I have a question, so it's awesome to be able to bounce, ideas and, issues like that, obviously.
I'm definitely interested in knowing how much multiple sclerosis, fibromyalgia, and other similar things have to do with psychic ability or any extrasensory ability. Like, obviously there's something going on. Like, where something breaks in the body, it opens up something else. Kind of like a blind person has super hearing. Okay, for example. Mm-hmm. Like, there's always compensations. Like, my favorite example is the autistic savant, like the musical gifted people that are autistic. Like that one guy that won American Idol.
Yeah, Get Talent.
Yeah, American's Got Talent. Yeah, American's Got Talent. Like Colby. That. Yeah, something like that. I think it started with a C. Anyway,
yeah,
that dude. Like, my mother uses some of his songs to cleanse things. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, she said his pitch is so immaculately perfect that it's like using solfeggio frequencies and healing bowls and stuff. She said his voice is so pitch perfect that you can use it to cleanse stuff.
Wow.
And I'm like, oh, that's freaking awesome.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
That's freaking awesome. Like, that guy is like set for life now. Like, before, he was just doing bars and clubs and stuff, just probably, doing a little bit of stuff, feeling good about it, and then all of a sudden, boom, he's probably got contracts and, probably going to do a record and be all super famous and everything. Mm-hmm. I just love that.
Derek said, I bet Ralphie knows.
Yeah, he doesn't know. Sorry.
Well.
Oh my God.
What?
Well, that's cool. 3 times on my screen.
I know.
Seen it 3 times?
I'm seeing it on YouTube.
Good thing it's not just me.
It's Bill.
I feel like this show has just gone by so fast. We only have 2 minutes left.
Cody Lee. Betty just said the name. Yes.
Cody Lee.
You're talking about your mama. Your mama's on YouTube.
Hi, Mama.
Hi, Donna.
Do I have to recap for Mom?
She says, I use voice to tune things. The vibration is right.
Oh, she might have. Yeah. Yeah, because it's the pitch perfectness of it. That's what I was hearing in it. Because a lot of people, they'll sing in key, they'll sing a melody. It's not exactly tuned right, but his voice is. Especially if it's a song he knows well. He does well. What does Lady in the Mist think about the idea of psychic tunneling? Have you been around long enough to have some feedback on that? Let me know.
Valerie said, I believe our bodies are always trying to fight when new energy is being introduced, whether it be paranormal or physical, infections, colds, etc. And our DNA or cells have continuously regrow and evolved to keep up. And in that sense, we get sick, fibro, ADHD.
Yeah, I agree with that mostly. I believe that, me studying the whole Reiki stuff, like how the energy vortices in the body, the 7 main ones, correlate to illnesses in the body, for sure. That definitely relates to that. And that's, basically what you're saying. There's definitely something to that. Whether it's exactly how you put it, I'm not sure. But you're definitely on the right track with that. I will have to say. There's definitely some true statements in there.
Did Justin really ask if she has been around long enough?
On the stream,
LOL.
watching the stream. That's what I meant. That's what I meant by saying that. She's probably like, damn you for making me talk to people and type things.
No, don't know. Just jumped on. I'm late.
Okay. We're going to recap, Mom. This show is about an idea I'm proposing called psychic tunneling. You probably don't know anything about quantum tunneling, but we'll explain again. There's this thing where conservation of energy means that if you roll something down a hill and it comes up the other side, it will not go higher than the height you dropped it. Okay, and it'll always do that in the classical macro world. Okay, but the quantum level, the small level, the quantum effects are wave-like properties. Okay, so if you take electrons and photons and aim them at a barrier, there's a probability that the electron and photon will come out on the other side. Okay, the thinner the barrier, the higher the probability, and that's tunneling. Okay, a lot of effects that we can see is light, like if you take a glass of water that's got a clear glass and you look down through the top of it, you can put your hand on the other side of the water and you won't see your hand, but if you press your hand really hard up against it, you'll see your fingerprints. Have you guys ever experienced this? That's quantum tunneling. So psychic tunneling means that people like yourself, Mom, and others, they can tunnel through the barrier from our world to the other side and get messages through, get information through, pull energy and information from the spirit realm back in through this process, going through the barrier. And the thinner the veil and the thinner the barrier, these force carriers that I'm proposing called psychotons via psychic tunneling that's how it's getting through the barrier or the veil between the spirit field and the Higgs field that gives everything mass. Okay, what are your thoughts on that? Through parapsychological studies, micro PK exists. Psychics, focus on the random number generators and making the probability of chance go up higher past the levels of statistical probability. Okay, so the evidence of micro PK is there. So if psychics can influence random number generators, they can influence matter, they can influence the process in which these carriers of information and energy can go through the barriers from the other side to this realm. I see Robert Murphy just joined us.
So did Troy Haney.
What's up, Troy? I can't explain it again. Don't make me.
Lovin says scientifically, the way that our nerves and our brain conducts information is electronically. So it makes sense that when it comes to energy, our bodies are indeed the best instruments.
Oh, absolutely. I think evolution and our physical makeup is like the most miraculous thing that's around us right now. I mean, the computer's great, but our brain and our bodies, I believe they're quantum machines. I think it's like the most miraculous, amazing thing that we could possibly use to do anything. And I'm with you. Totally with you. It's past now. What's up, Troy? I see you there. It's all right, Robert. If you give a damn about what I'm talking about on the show, you could watch it back through when you have time.
If you have questions, just flood his inbox.
Yeah, and we'll make Missy answer them.
I wouldn't know the first thing about answering them. Valerie said, "Do it." Explain it again.
No. No, Valerie, I don't know if you got the email, but I was finally able to mail out your jewelry today. And I'll use my last 4 minutes of the show to complain about my mail service in my hometown. They suck. Okay, I have Amazon Prime. I ordered the boxes to ship out my mom's jewelry. It's supposed to arrive Monday. Guess what? It was rainy out. They couldn't put it in my mailbox, so my mail lady, instead of leaving it on my door in a plastic bag, they just didn't even put it out there. and they just lied to Amazon and said, oh, we couldn't get access to his property to deliver it. And when I went there this morning to pick it up myself, they're like, oh, they just couldn't deliver it because they didn't have time to do all the routes. So we're delivering it to you today. So I had to wait until 11 o'clock to get it finally today so I can mail everything out. It sucked because I want people to get their stuff fast as possible.
I was hearing you use a couple different languages.
I'm not going to do it. I don't want to be judged.
I was on the phone with Christy when you came in the car. I was like, oh.
I was so mad. I just don't have any tolerance for it, man. I hate my mail lady. She sucks. Hope she's watching.
Oh.
The mailman leaves my packages on the end of the step because he can't walk 3 steps up to put it by the mailbox. So he just leaves it on the edge of the porch.
Going to your front porch is like climbing Mount Everest. My property is flat and easy to traverse, okay? All right. General 7 has joined us.
Hi, Anthony.
Sorry that we're coming to the end of the show. I am sorry. Uh-oh, it's saying my encoder's overloading. You might be experiencing some lag. Don't know if you're experiencing lag.
Jen says Justin has been speaking in tongues or something. Hello.
We know that.
All right. Well, I'm going to wrap it up. Thanks, girls, for helping me out. There was lots coming in, and you helped me tremendously. So thank you again. Every show, make sure to do that. And we're going to wrap it up. Thanks, guys. If you have any afterthoughts about this subject, I am lagging a little bit. That sucks. Let me know. Email me, message me. If you have any ideas to add to this, if you think I'm an idiot and want to tell me how it is, go for it. I'm not about being, I'm fine with being wrong or shown other ways. But thank you guys for joining me. I love the support. I love the community that we established here. We're going to roll into these video links here. We're going to talk about interfacedeath.net again because, hey, that's our website. So go check it out. If you haven't, go subscribe to the mailing list if you haven't. If you're on YouTube, you want to check us out on Facebook, the links are there. We're on Twitter, Instagram, patreon.com. If you want to support us financially, get rewarded, and join an even tighter, tight-knit community, you can do that. If you haven't subscribed to Interface Death on YouTube, please do that, even if you don't watch the show on YouTube. If you just want to make a one-time small donation, you don't want to do Patreon, you can do the PayPal link there. Throw me $1 or something if you want to help out. That would be great. It even throws up a little alert while we're live. And we have a Discord server. You can join our community there as well. If you are a Facebook person, you can join us at United Paranormal Society. Send me a join request, and we will put you in there. We talk about everything paranormal. You can share your work in there as long as you don't spam it. Cryptids, UFOs, ghosts, all kinds of stuff. We like it there. Patreon, you need to extend your thanks to the folks on the screen. Without them, it definitely wouldn't be like it is. It wouldn't be ongoing. It wouldn't be getting better and better. Gear added, production value added, everything. So thank you to Clay Borman, Katie Turner, RJ Murphy, Scotty Fox, Casey Schreiner, Jessica Bias, Paranormal Reporter, Anthony Grothus, Bonnie Ring, Heather Elliott, Joe Vitelli, The Ghost Guild, Kelly McConkey, Tony Filosi, Betty Kegley, Cherry Capital Shadow Seekers, and Deadlight LLC. Thank you. Thank you very much. And that's where I'm going to leave it. Paratalk Radio, talk about real quick. They haven't sent me an ad yet, but we're going to be cross-promoting. Definitely go over to Paratalk Radio on Facebook. They have their own, they broadcast on their own radio servers. They probably get, broadcasted out on different networks and podcasting apps. I'm not sure yet. I'm going to learn more about that. But Ted Wolf and Psychic Cindy over at Paratalk Radio, great people. Go check them out on Facebook. They have a great show. And stick around for some other affiliates that we work with. And our trailer is coming out for our last episode of season 6. Thank you. We're probably going to do a box set series. I don't know. if you like DVDs and Blu-rays. We have a show tomorrow night on Necromancer, 8 p.m. Eastern. We're going to be talking to Steve Parsons. He's an author of Ghostology and Paracoustics, I think it's called. He has a Facebook page called Parascience. Very interesting guy, very sciencey guy. Hope to have a good conversation with him. So make sure you check that out tomorrow. And we're going to roll into the video promotions. I love you. You're in my heart each and every time that we do this, each and every time. Thank you very much. We'll see you next time. Do you have that drive? That morbid curiosity to explore the darkness? Do you have what it takes to brave the night? You do? Good.
I'd like to see you. What the fuck was that?
Lost your audio from your lavalier. Did the power go off?
Well, I felt like I got pinched, but it wasn't like a
Did the display turn off?
This just died.
You gotta be kidding me.
It just died.
Okay, that's brand new lithium-ion batteries. We'll keep rolling. Dude, there's...
Yeah, but at least that one definitely documented it. That's still rolling, that camera.
Oh, yeah, this is rolling too.
Yeah, these just freaking died.
Let me double check.
I held it in, the light came on, said the title screen. And
I'm starting to feel really like weird sensations touching me. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, it felt like something.
yeah,
Like just.
that is a door now.
And those are brand new.
This is Jason Bland, host of Midwest Paranormal Presents Paranormal Soup, where we stream live as a webcast every Sunday night, 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. Eastern, with guests who will blow your mind. Live ghost box sessions where you can call into the show to see if the spirits will talk to you, and the World Wide Web of Weird with the latest in paranormal news and evidence. We're bringing the weird every Sunday night, 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. Eastern on our Facebook page and YouTube channel. Don't forget to follow and subscribe.
Hi, I'm Eric McGill.
And I'm David Woolever.
And we are paranormal investigators welcoming you to join us as we put new theories to the test and attempt to explain strange phenomena. We invite you on a journey that will give you a glimpse into our haunted minds. Hi guys, Eric McGill here, RU Media Network and Our Haunted Minds. I just want to talk to you guys real quick about the awesome stuff going on behind the scenes. The Our Haunted Minds video is coming along swimmingly, and it's really going to be awesome. As you guys know, Adam Kimmel is joining us for the first investigation with Dave and I. And then after that, we may have Chris, or we may have Becca, or we may have Ashley. But it's really exciting, and you guys are not going to want to miss this first one. A lot of awesome stuff happened.
Hello, everyone. I'm the Goose.
And I'm Michael Bradley.
Is that what you're calling yourself tonight?
Heisenberg.
Not the Angry Kitty.
Max Braggins.
Anywho, we're the hosts of the Cryptic Paranormal Show.
On our show, we'll talk about all things paranormal except Bigfoot. He freaks me out.
Really, dude?
You know that, but I mean, I guess we could talk about him as long as I don't have to see him.
We will talk. As a matter of fact, we'll talk about all fields in the paranormal realm.
And every week, we will interview new guests, celebrities, and researchers in the field, and all our comrades in the paranormal underground.
And we aren't afraid to ask the hard questions no one else will. Our conversations are rooted in our own experiences as paranormal investigators.
So be prepared to have your minds, your opinions, and your beliefs challenged.
And let's not forget to warn them about all the tomfoolery and shenanigans. Let's just say, you might want to put the kiddos to bed before tuning in. They don't call us the paranormal shock jocks for nothing.
Do they call us that?
If they don't, you will.
So be sure to tune into the Cryptic Paranormal Show every Thursday night from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, only on RU Media Network.
Spook you later, crypto heads.
Bye.
Shut up.
Welcome into the Abyss with your host, Sean Gilmore. Open your mind, both of your ears, and all three of your eyes to discuss all things supernatural, with weekly special guests. We believe that we all learn from each other, and we all have a lot to learn. What will you learn today? Here is your host, Sean Gilmore.